Yo, welcome back to the Sing Zone podcast. Your host, Zone FanFic, here with another Sing Zone podcast. How's it going, guys? Back again. What's going on, Breezy? What's up, man?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing, another week, another day. Big weekend, right? Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good myself. The only thing is it is burning hot. I live like down south. So it was like 100 degrees yesterday.
Mhm.
Today it's not as hot, but it's been burning. So I'm just melty over here. But other than that, I'm doing pretty good though.
That ice. I know that ice doesn't work. And the only thing you guys really guys like trees, right?
Yeah, we just got the trees and stuff. It was like 95, 96 a little bit earlier. Now that it's dark, it's going down to 88, but it's still hot. Like, I don't know why. It's something about being indoors that makes it feel even hotter, I guess, because you're in a confined area rather than the outside open space. So it's just like, but
you need one of those industrial fans, the ones that sit on the ground.
Right. I would just I would just like blaze AC if I wasn't trying to be mindful of electricity, but it is what it is.
Yeah, that too. Shoot. I mean, there's AC too, but that can get expensive. Oof.
Oh yeah, very very fast. I was using it earlier and just trying to conserve all the cool I could, but it is what it is.
Damn. Well, but yeah. I guess we'll start off hot. I will start off hot today. We were having some major. I know we were supposed to start a little earlier, so apologies you guys for not sticking to normal time. Technically, this is still a normal time, but or within our time range, but typically we try to aim for something a lot sooner. But yeah, we are here today, and I guess we'll start off with the
yeah, we got some anime news to get into. Starting off, Hunter x Hunter. So before we mentioned it before that Tagashi, he's been making tweets, and as of lately, he's been making additional tweets confirming that he's completed chapter 407 of the Hunter x Hunter manga, and not only that. He's also announced that there are 7 potentially finished manga chapters for Hunter x Hunter that are ready to be published. So, that is great news, to be honest. For Hunter x Hunter,
I think I'm about, and this is going to seem, I gotta be completely transparent with you guys because you guys are the audience, right? I have yet to get to 407. I think I'm about like 358, something like that right now. And I like to take my time when it pertains to certain things, and when it pertains to like Tagashi's writing, I like to soak it, every single word, every single bit, and overanalyze it, underanalyze it, have those moments. Typically, I'll go in initially and underanalyze it. And then I'll come back, double back, and be overanalyze it, and vice versa. But yeah. This is huge news. Tagashi is coming back. I mean, I know we got some word about this, for the last few weeks. We've been getting like more wording that Tagashi was coming back, and this is something that was, officially confirmed, which is crazy.
It's awesome. Like, it's something that I appreciate because he's been having his health issues, and it just lets you know, like in his case, and I think I said it before, it just goes to show he still does the manga because it's something that's important to him. Like he likes what he does. So I just appreciate, his passion for his craft. I think you're muted.
Oh yeah, thank you. I feel like you've got to respect the guy at this point because he's been dedicated. He's been having some health issues, those health issues that we know to be something that affects his actual work, and it's extremely unfortunate. We've had heartfelt moments out there for Kiri Toriyama and other that's I guess one of the more recent tragedies in our community. But in terms of uh dedication, I think Tagashi is bar none like one of the or in at least in my book the absolute goat, number one for sure, in terms of just shonen brilliance, right? He's a lot of people give Akira Toriyama credit, but I try to dedicate at least half of that credit that's due to Akira, to Tagashi. You know, Akira Tagashi is, if you don't already know, it's like he's at least he's one of my at least top three, right, of my favorite, if not my favorite manga creator ever. So yeah, for sure.
Ooh, top three. I'm just curious now. Who are your other favorites?
That's why I said like if not, but
it's all good.
Since you throw me on the bus, might as well. I don't know. I feel like as of recent times, I'm gonna have to say who I'm forgetting the creator of Vinland Saga. It's got to be at least one seinen, right? And of course, Tite Kubo. His stories. A lot of people don't give him the respect that he deserves, but he is the true underdog of the shonen generation. I tend to put him like right under there with, in terms of skill. I put Tite Kubo like right under Tagashi. Of course, there's gonna be like other creators out there that have that are more popular, but I don't necessarily think that they're better. Again, I feel like that's subjective. But yeah, it's interesting. And then I guess number one, I guess feeling like I put that at number one, and then number two, yeah, Tite Kubo, right? Tite Kubo. He's somewhere in the top three. Those are depending on the day. Some days I'm feeling Tagashi's number one. Some days I'm feeling Tite Kubo's number one. Really just depends. But
I feel you on that.
Yeah. Next. Did you have anything else to say about that? I didn't want to move on without ensuring that you got to say.
Oh no! I didn't have any additional input to put into that. So if there is something that you want to mention, I'm good for it.
Okay, now I mean that was pretty much it. I mean I'm ready for this. I don't know if there's an official release date, but I suspect it'll be within the coming weeks to month that we may receive these chapters. I hope they don't release all at one time. That is something that Netflix does, and I hate it because it kind of makes, I think, the move more or less impactful. They did the same thing with the Astro Boy inspired anime. I'm forgetting the name of that anime, but it came out around like January time frame.
Inspired by Astro Boy. That sounds very familiar. I can't think of what it is right now, but
yeah, it was on Netflix as well. I'm vaguely remember. Maybe I'll remember. You could definitely Google it. Some of you guys will already know what I'm talking about. But
are you thinking of Pluto? Maybe
Pluto. That's what it was. Yes.
Have you? Just out of curiosity, my bad. I don't want to steer you too far, of course, but have you seen any of Pluto? Because I've heard of it, but I haven't actually dwelled into that one yet.
Yeah, no, I see. I actually watched all of it. Unfortunately, they dropped all of it in one setting. Like I was extremely disappointed with that fact, but the animation was brilliant. Damn near movie quality. Phenomenal. Just animation, storytelling. The pacing was right. They didn't try to include too much of a narrative, but it was very, and it wasn't just inspired. If I'm not mistaken, it was from the same universe as Astro Boy. So it was like a few years in the future. So yeah, it was a great anime. I think that there were some things that could have been improved upon, but in terms of its Astro Boy story driven narrative, I feel like it was very well executed. So that I will say that. And I of course will encourage all of you guys to go and check it out, because I don't even know if it's still available on Pluto, but you could definitely find, for some of you guys that watch anime, I know you for sure could figure out where to find Pluto. Because it's still out there. But yeah, I definitely recommend it for a lot of new anime enthusiasts, because if you don't know already, Astro Boy was one of the first anime that the majority of, like 98-99% of anime creators that come out today have been influenced either by Astro Boy directly or influenced by someone that was influenced by Astro Boy. So it goes deep, right? But in other news we have a new Ghost in the Shell anime slotted for a 2026 release date for Studio Science Saru. I am so apparently this is going to be the same creator as Dandadan, whoever's going to be producing Dandadan in the coming months is the same anime. So if you go back and you watch the Dandadan trailer, that's essentially what you could expect from the new Ghost in the Shell anime, which is crazy, because if you go back and you watch the original Ghost in the Shell anime or animes, it already has sort of like that same aesthetic. So for sure, go back and consume that, so you guys can be on the same exact hype train as me. I don't know. How are you feeling about this? You saw the Dandadan trailer, right?
Yeah. Dandadan has a very similar aesthetic in a way, but it's also brighter. But I think that just comes with like newer animation style in general, because I find that newer animes, they tend to have like a brighter color palette. So I think that's just more so with the times rather than just like the style. So I suspect when the new Ghost in the Shell comes out, it'll probably be it'll have like a brighter kind of but kind of style to it than the old one. Because like those old anime back in like that 90s, early 2000s time frame, they had sort of like there's a certain aesthetic to it that you just know when you see it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there was a lot of ghosting and dimming because of the drawing of it was actual panels that they were including, if I'm not mistaken, like drawn panels of their art that they would include to actually bring the animation to life.
Right.
As opposed to 2D animation technology incorporated with drawing aesthetic from rendering from 2D rendering tool and technology. But yeah,
it has that a certain kind of hand drawn feel to it.
Yeah,
and I think it almost gives it more of a what's the feel I'm trying to say? Like a rougher feel, or not even necessarily rougher, but you kind of get what I mean. Like everything. I feel like when the new one comes out, like it will have a cleaner feel to it. But I'm not quite sure if that's the word I'm looking for either.
So there's more of like a retro aspect that I think a lot of people is sort of very nostalgic in terms of the drawing, right? It sort of depicts retro, right?
Right.
So in terms of like 2D animation, which is I guess a little bit more on the modern side, a lot of people don't typically attribute that aspect to a retro feel. Right. But in terms of like, more of like a modern sense, like if you go back and you watch like the remake of Rurouni Kenshin, I hope that it doesn't have that sort of like appeal.
I think they're going to do it better. I have a feeling that they're going to do it a better justice than they did to Rurouni Kenshin. But
because
I don't want to bash on Rurouni Kenshin, but I was not feeling how they did the remake for that one.
nah, man, that was dog shit. I don't know what the I was seeing like the amount of people coming out after like I dropped it maybe like a week maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then I started seeing like feeds on Twitter like what is it? Maybe it was like a month. I think it was longer than that. It had to be like a month before I started seeing things because it didn't catch on right away. People weren't like, oh, this Rurouni Kenshin thing is coming out. And so I was basically the one, I think, kind of trying to get the message out there on like through like Twitter and Discord. But in terms of, yeah, it just didn't catch on. It was very soft. It wasn't very, the animation wasn't very,
it did not fit the feel of what was actually going on at all. Like I dropped it too. Like I got, and I gave it a chance. Like I was like 9 episodes in, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I was like, this is not Samurai X. I don't know what this is.
yeah, I was like, who is this impersonator? This is not Samurai X, man. This is somebody else. You know, and I was like, man, it looks like they're trying to cater to more of the younger generation. I thought Rurouni Kenshin was like a shouju. Is it not like a shouju?
I'm not 100% sure.
Like sort of like a middle, like in between, like Cowboy Bebop, Space Dandy, sort of like,
yeah, because I know Cowboy Bebop for sure is a seinen, but I think,
or is it a shouju? I thought it was a shouju.
For Bebop,
Yeah,
is it a shouju?
I was pretty sure it was a shouju. Yeah,
you know, I'm gonna see real quick. Let's see, Cowboy Bebop. My bad.
oh good.
No, it's a Bebop is a seinen.
It is a seinen. Okay. That's okay. That's all right. Yeah, I mean, I
it does have a manga though that is considered a shoujo, but the manga is saying is very loosely connected to the actual story.
For Cowboy Bebop, or
yeah, for Cowboy Bebop.
Okay. All right, that's interesting. That kind of makes sense because there are some aspects of like censoring that I don't know, because even like a seinen, they don't, it's not always like censoring that defines it as a seinen. It's more so like broader topics, more expansion, because it's trying to, I guess, pique the knowledge of 18 and above. But yeah, that's interesting in terms of like, I don't think that because of how Ghost in the Shell works, the amount of concepts embedded within just the anime, like to understand, they would have to make it, at the very least, it would maybe carry the same feel as like Gundam: The Witch from Mercury, which there is some like there are like some time tricks, I guess, to kind of like sway the narrative, or I guess shift the plot. But I don't know, I feel like Ghost in the Shell is so broad in its aspects that it'd be very difficult to really depict it in a negative light through its animation. I feel like they would have to ensure that the animation is peak. And essentially, like, I mean, if it's being animated by Studio Saru, Science Saru, then I don't want to doubt it. I don't think you can, because it's a great studio. If you've even seen the trailer, and there are other pieces of work as well from Science Saru. It's not that's just the most recent depiction of what their capabilities are. If you go and Google that Don to Don trailer for you guys, you travelers out there. But yeah.
Now the Don to Don trailer was good. Like I have pretty high hopes for this one. I think they're going to do justice by Ghost in the Shell. Like you said, with the amount of content that's actually in Ghost in the Shell, like it's pretty hard to mess that up through the animation. Like if anything, even if the animation, or even not even necessarily animation, even if the style itself doesn't too much fit the vibe of Ghost in the Shell, I feel like the series itself has enough things in concept to keep it interesting anyway. Now, I just feel like it's just too hard to mess up.
That's a fact. I mean, I could briefly show the trailer here if you guys want to see it. I mean, it's probably a lengthy trailer. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd be down for watching it.
All right, just really quick. I know we're kind of all already starting off all over the place. Well, let me show you guys what's going on. This is Science Saw right here. I like how that trailer was very light on the idea that of Don Don, because if you just go back and look at Don Don's art, it's absolutely phenomenal. And they have only, like, for what it is, they do the same thing or similar thing as like Mob Psycho, where they'll transition between like more of a Joker style or jokey style to more of like a sharp toned, dark, I guess, rather toned aesthetic. And another series that does that, Mob Psycho again does that. One Punch Man does that. So just to give you guys some aspect of the creative range that they could potentially kind of do, I'm feeling pretty optimistic about this. Like I don't know.
Yeah, same. I feel the same way that you do about it. It just, especially just going off of what they're doing with Don to Don, and that's another one I'm looking forward to watching as well whenever that one comes out. So I don't know, like that one, I have my hopes pretty high for it, and they're kind of doing a good job of kind of just keeping in the loop that's happening. Because they're bringing back the Ghost in the Shell 2 movie, the Innocence movie that came out sometime, I think, in like the early 2000s. Originally, it's a pretty old movie, but it's airing again in theaters here in 4K on June 23rd, June 24th, and June 26th. So, like, if you haven't seen Ghost in the Shell 2 Innocence, from my memory, it was a pretty good movie. It's a good way to just kind of get introduced to what's going on beforehand, before the actual anime comes. And I think 2026 is when they're slating the new one, but they don't have like a hard solid date. So yeah, that one, definitely check out the movie in theaters if you're just curious about, what the series is about in general.
Yeah, Ghost in the Shell Innocence. Yeah, if you guys want a place to start off with when it pertains to Ghost in the Shell, Ghost in the Shell 2, Innocence is a great place to start off on. If I'm not mistaken, it's like a continuation / encapsulation of like the pieces of the manga into like a movie format and 4K resolution. As a restoration, that's actually phenomenal. 4K, and it's coming. What you said, June? That's next month, I believe, right? That's great.
Yeah, just in a month, 24th, 26th, and the 23rd, I believe.
And the 23rd. Wow.
Yes, sir.
Wow. That's. That is phenomenal. I don't know if I'll be seeing that in theaters. Not because I'm not a fan, but specifically because I don't go to theaters like that. I've only went to the theater twice this year, and that was like the first time in a few years. But I will definitely be watching this as soon as it comes out outside of the theaters, if you catch my drift. But yeah.
I mean, it is though, just like just the old movie, just cleaned up in visuals. I mean, if you've seen the old movie, you could always just go back and just watch that if you're not into getting into the theaters.
It's I'm not gonna lie, it is a bit hard to watch, even, and I think this maybe because my eyes have adjusted to modern day animation, but I love to see drawn art on screen and in 4K. I'm curious to see how they're gonna do this. But I just kind of rewatched Lane, a few days ago. But it kind of is also again, it's drawn, so there are, and it's not like anime studios can't, or animes can't come out and do that nowadays. There are a lot of, preferably I love when backgrounds are like half and half, right? Half drawn and half animated. And so that's like hand drawn, right? Half hand drawn and then half animated by 2D rendering tools. I think that whenever that is incorporated, I feel like that is an absolute like a gem to have that incorporated. But I don't mind. I don't mind. It just really depends on the director aspect of things, like how things are actually laid out on screen. But yeah.
Yeah, I fully feel you on that one. I always prefer like the like you were saying, the I don't know, it's just something about that the hand drawn aspect to it than the 3D. But I guess it's because the 3D is getting used a lot. I guess it's like when something is used in abundance, you kind of just get tired of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or used like incorrectly, right? Like it's like a director mistake. I feel.
Yeah.
When they make it like they're like, all right, there's this massive like thing that's going to happen, like an explosion, or maybe like a Titan, right?
I was just about to say that I hate it when every single time there's a scene when you know that there's going to be a giant monster, but then the giant monster is always in 3D when it's just towering above everything. Every time, it never fails. I'm like, no.
Yeah,
I seen it coming.
Mistake number, like, this better not be 3G. This better not be CGI. But yeah, it's not always bad. It just depends on how it's incorporated. I feel like during like certain transition scenes, like high impact scenes, like fight scenes or maybe like shooting scenes, I feel like whenever there's like a certain like panel on screen, a certain clip on screen, it's definitely nice to see like maybe a split second or two of CGI. Again, it depends on specifically how it's incorporated. Completely a director's take on that. But yeah. Next up though, we have Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 261. Controversy. What's going on with that? You wanna fill us in on that, Breezy?
Oh man, yeah. So the Jujutsu Kaisen fan base is pretty much split up about what's going on with this man Gojo. Well, this man Gojo's body. So like in chapter 260, that one ended with the cliffhanger of Sukuna seeing the vision of Gojo after I believe Yuji was trying to rip his heart out. And it had people speculating. They're like, oh, snap, Gojo might have returned. And then, people are making theories about like how he might have came back. There were some saying like he might have came back like as a cursed spirit or something and give like a last hurrah kind of thing. But no, like the plot twist was it was actually Yuta, who we haven't seen for a while. And it was revealed that he at some point copied Kenjaku's technique that he used to transplant his brain into other people's body. And he transplanted his brain into the body of Gojo. And so there are people online that are really split up about this because they're like, oh no, like what is Geje doing? Like they're disrespecting Gojo. Why are they doing him like this? Not just like, oh my gosh, no, what is going on?
He said he don't care about the fans no more. He wants the money. The money, give me the money. My money, and I want it now. That's what Gege said. Yeah, I mean, you know what? I can't really speak fully and wholeheartedly about the situation, but it does sound like you know, maybe Gege may have been a little bit inconsistent in terms of understanding his fan base's ambitions for his ongoing art series. And so in that regard, you know, I feel like there may be some disconnect in terms of what Gege has planned or had planned for the series, at if he had things planned at all, or as opposed to what the fans had in mind. And so, you know, I always feel like it's important for the fan to have maybe a slight opinion about the direction of the series, because I know other animators have manga artists have come out, manga creators have come out and basically voiced, like publicly sat down with fans and said, you know, this is, you know, maybe gave like sprinkles of what the direction that they'd be taking the manga. And I also not only see a lack of that, but I also feel like the Jujutsu Kaisen was extremely hyped up very fast, and I don't know if it was because of its similarities to Bleach. It's as Gege came out and said that it had a lot of inspiration from Bleach. People like Bleach or Tade Kubo and Tagashi, conveniently. But in terms of like what its range, longevity is, I feel like there may have been a little bit too much hype surrounding it. It wasn't much of a slow burn. It was more of like a grenade, right? Like you get like an explosion that impacted a big target, right? But it wasn't like the, you know, I don't know what's another analogy that would kind of correlate to that. It wasn't like a nuclear bomb, right? Where a nuclear bomb basically explodes and in the distance, and you may not see it, right? But you will feel it, and then you probably will feel the effects for it for ongoing days, essentially.
Oh yeah.
And so that's essentially what I mean. It wasn't like a nuclear bomb. It was like a grenade in that aspect. But people saw the explosion and it kind of was like wild to their you know, to their eyes. And it makes sense. If I saw a grenade up close, I'd be probably, you know, or yeah, if I saw a grenade up, you know, with my eyes like explode, like, I'd probably go on crazy too. You know, so that's essentially the analogy that I feel like kind of connects with the fan base. And I could be incorrect in that assumption. Again, I have not fully caught up. It's just purely based off of the spoilers that I've seen and heard over time. But I do tune in every now and then, in a non-organized way. So, yeah, for sure. I don't know. That's my take.
Oh man, I haven't fully read through thoroughly through the Culling games and the Shibuya, not the Shibuya, the what's currently going on with Sakuna. But I pretty much, like, because people post everything, like I pretty much got completely spoiled on all of that. I've watched and read all Jujutsu Kaisen, both watched and read all through like the Shibuya incident arc. And I feel like the Shibuya incident arc is like taking like your grenade analogy, like that was that grenade that just went off. Like after that, I feel like that's when that disconnect began between like the fans and probably like what I'm probably saying the name wrong, but Geje wanted for the the franchise. And at times also, it feels like a lot of things with JJK. I mean, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I feel like a lot of things in JJK are just done for shock value. And that may not necessarily always be a good thing. But one thing with the fans in like Gojo, like I understand like they like his character and they want him to come back because he's, basically just because he's a very powerful character and he looks cool and he does cool stuff. So those characters always tend to be very popular. But I feel like in the manga, like once he was killed off, like once Geje killed the character off, like I felt like after that point, it just would have been bad to just actually bring the character back to life, like in a full resurrection style. Because like my understanding of like Gojo's character anyway was like he was a character that's burdened, since birth with his power that is the six eyes. And pretty much like all he's known throughout his life was just training and then being used, essentially as a weapon. And he's got all this blood on his hands, blood of his best friend, blood of the higher ups throughout the series because he ended up, murdering them because the system was corrupt. But all that like weighs on him. Like he has this responsibility just like all on him as a character. And then even in the current arc that's going on, like they're all hinging on him pretty much to beat Sukuna. But like the whole reason why he decided to become a teacher was to pass on some of that responsibility to his students. So in a way, like Sukuna killing him, I feel like Geje was trying to say like that, that freed Gojo in a way. Because you can even tell from like Sukuna's dialogue, like after he killed him, like I think his words were like he acknowledged him like, you are the strongest or something like that. Rest easy or something. Yeah. And he gave him his smiling, kudos.
Yeah.
But like that freed that guy. Like he passed on that responsibility for his students to step up and take that on. Like that was the passing of the mantle, so to speak. So I feel like after that, like bringing the character back after you just like killed him off like that just does not make sense story wise, even though like I understand like why the fans would want that.
Yeah, it's just my understanding that they kind of paid him homage by trying to avenge his death, and it seems like this may be another like head nod toward like paying homage toward Gojo and his death. And I feel like okay, at least from what I've heard, and of course this is an uninformed opinion about the series. Of course, if there is anything specifically I say next that doesn't rock well or is inconsistent, make sure to comment down below what you think about it and how I could be wrong about it. But it seems like there may not have been enough depth within Gojo's character outside of being strong. It seems like there is more of an emphasis toward him being the strongest, the coolest, and it wasn't really conveyed through his struggles weren't really conveyed through his actions, or his any sort of I guess that's what I'll say. His struggles weren't really conveyed through his actions or inactions.
No, for sure. Like I completely get what you feel because like the whole thing with him, he's the strongest, and like I said, like from birth, like that's he had this expectation, and he's that's the only thing like he has. Like he is the strongest. Like that is his whole character, and it's not conveyed in a way where you really see him like struggle with that too much, other than like within like the fights. Like you kind of see like certain like sudden outbursts of insanity every now and then him like ranting on about it. But then other than like those sudden outbursts, and like you don't really get anything much else that indicates that from like his character. So I completely get what you mean by that.
So they gave him more of like a cracker style characteristic. In turn, and if seems to be the case where you kind of like you burn out, right? Due to burnout, either someone has to put you down, or you have to basically mess up through burnout. The firecracker aspect, in terms of lack of a better phrase or word. If that is the case, it seems like it's more fitting for like a deuterologist,
Right,
um,
right, right.
role, and less of like a protagonist role, anyways. So it works. It works if the goal is to just have him be like a strong secondary that'll help build the protagonist. Um, and I don't know. I don't understand the. I mean, I understand, because I understand why there's just disappointment, because I understand the fan base and their high ambitions for Gojo being the best, and he's typically referred to as the strongest amongst, you know, um, a lot of anime, and a lot of manga and anime nowadays. A lot of his fans will go out of the way um, to kind of make it a point that he is one of the stronger characters in anime fiction nowadays. But even if that is subjective, they're trying to make that a point, and it seems most apparent that it's probably because he has abilities that are difficult to understand, limitless, and whatnot. Um, and so it might have been a learning curve. And in terms of the anime, I always have seen it as more of like a good anime to watch if you're new to anime, because of its fantastic animation. Regardless of the dimming, that's always most of the case always, ghosting and dimming always gone after Blu-ray edits, right? So yeah, I mean, it did receive high praise and hope, and that may have been, I think, due to the direction of the fan bases, Bleach coming back, and people needing something else to fall back on, because Bleach also has a lot of difficult concepts to kind of really understand. But I think if you're consistent with Bleach, and you're watching some solid anime reviewers out there, unlike myself, then yeah, for sure you'll you'll definitely pick up on Bleach. You understand the nuance and intricacies behind Tite Kubo and his masterpiece known as Bleach. But you've also got competitors out there like what's that, Kagurabachi? Or it's a manga now, but in terms of its longevity, I personally, I think that regardless of the animation style, it has a lot more potential. I kind of gave Jujutsu Kaisen its praise when it was an anime format, as well as when the movie released and it decided to have that prequel, which was a good move, a very good move. But again, it's unfortunate to see that the fan base is that divided over the coming weeks, and hopefully they're able to. I'm sure they'll come around to understand, having a more, I think, intelligent opinion about the series, and a more passionate and passionately grounded and sound resolve about the series and its direction. But typically I'll attribute most of its direction toward its storyboarding process. Of course, with the amount of hype surrounding it, there could be a lot of emphasis. I think really that focused on its weekly narrative, right? So yeah, there's that too. I feel like there's a lot of aspects that a lot of people don't take into consideration because it's Japan and it's a socialistic country. But in terms of like its appeal, and of course they attribute some of that to the overworked. A lot of that is subverted due to its overworked mangakas. But I think a lot of people don't realize that a lot of that is overrun by capitalistic societies anyway. So really, we create the market for the demand. So yeah, it's interesting stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Just to be clear on that last part, were you referring to the upcoming Bleach anime, or are you talking about the divide over what was going on for JJK?
Yeah, no, essentially, yeah, I was basically talking about the divide of the fan base, and from what I've seen through different social media platforms like YouTube and Twitter, um, purely what I've seen, I'm sure some could attribute to that, some may not agree, and that's okay.
Oh
I
yeah, yeah. I completely feel you. They'll come around. They just have to understand, like, Gojo's character essentially is just like. Have you ever heard of the Spider-Man saying, "With great power comes great responsibility"?
Mhm.
Like that is his whole character. Like he basically, whenever Gojo is there, Gojo must do everything. He's gone.
Yeah.
The whole point of Gojo being gone is for the other characters to step up. Like it's pretty much that simple, but they'll come to terms and get over it eventually.
If you could describe, based on your current knowledge, are you fully caught up? Or are you somewhere caught up near the end of Jujutsu Kaisen? Oh, you
No,
said you.
I'm not fully caught up. Jujutsu Kaisen. I need to read through. I need to read past Gojo's death, basically when he first got killed. I'm a little bit past that, but I'm not all fully caught up with what's going on right now. But I get the basis of what's going on
Based on your current
for the
understanding,
manga, at least.
based on your current understanding of things, what is the overwhelming premise of Jujutsu Kaisen that you think may a lot of fans, aside from the whole power aspects of things, that they may appreciate in terms of nuance?
When you say what's the overall premise, you
Uh,
mean like what's the theme of Jujutsu Kaisen,
what would be like?
basically?
What would be like some of the overwhelming premises that uh, may um, may be emphasized through like its nuance that a lot of fans may appreciate the series for, as opposed to just its power dynamics?
I think for Jujutsu Kaisen, I think it tries to emphasize a lot that the distinction between good and evil probably isn't always clear or isn't always black and white. I think
Mm,
it emphasizes that a lot. And then it also emphasizes, a lot of, it's typical of like, a lot of shonen anime to do this, but teamwork. I think teamwork and it's not always clear what is right and what is wrong are the two biggest things that kind of repeat throughout the whole series.
that's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. I like that. I like that premise.
Because I
Um,
mean, a good example of the whole it's not always clear what is right and wrong is a lot of fans, let's say right now, they're mad over the whole thing with Yuta going into Gojo's body. But from what I've seen about the spoilers, like even the characters within like the series itself, they were feeling uneasy about Yuta going into Gojo's body. They're like, really, you're going to go into this man's body? Like, that's kind of wrong, isn't it? Kind of weird. And
uh,
he's like, I'll just do whatever I got to do, like to win. Like if I got to become a monster, and you guys see me as like some kind of monster for like using this dude's body, so be it, kind of thing. Like it doesn't matter if everybody's dead. Like I
right.
think that's is that the right thing to do for that situation? I think like that's a good example of like right and wrong isn't always black and white kind of thing. Like it emphasizes that a lot through other arcs too, but I don't want to go on about JJK forever.
Okay, yeah, that's my fault. What do
No,
we
no,
have?
you're good.
What do we have next?
Next up, we have oh, One Piece. So One Piece is being aired at the big screen in Las Vegas. It's called the what is the name of it? The Sphere.
Yeah,
Pretty
Spirit.
much like the biggest screen, that I know of on the planet. It's going to be for One Piece's 25th anniversary, apparently. So One Piece is 25 years old as of right now, and that's going to be taking place from June 10th to June 16th, where they're going to be screening One Piece stuff at this fair in Las Vegas. So I think that's pretty cool.
I remember playing the One Piece game on PS. Was it PS2 or was it? Hold on, was it Wii? Maybe.
Oh, there's no telling. There's so many One Piece games. Like I got a One Piece game on on PS4 called Pirate Warriors. There's a lot of One Piece games. There's no telling. But I'm pretty sure there's one on PS2.
I'm feeling like it was in an earlier generation console, like it was like PS2 or Xbox original, something like that. But yeah, that's interesting. And the spear, I mean, that's actually pretty dope. Like that's Japan level dope right there. You know, like on a huge screen, they could just rent out and they could do this for like an entire year. Like, hey, between these times or for years, between these times, it's nothing but One Piece. That is a fantastic idea to get an entire city on board with One Piece. That's a brilliant idea, as a matter of fact.
For sure.
Dang, yeah. Las Vegas. All right. Yeah, I guess we'll go into our movies.
Oh, before we go on to our movie section, do we want to mention what happened with Doge?
Oh yeah. Thank you for. I thought about it and then I forgot about it. I'm so glad you mentioned it because I definitely forgot to incorporate that. But yeah, Doge Dog is done. That's a terrible way to word that. No, but the puppy from the Dogecoin, he actually passed away at the age of 18, unfortunately. He was the face of Dogecoin, the cryptocurrency sensation that of what was it, 2020. Yeah.
It started off as a as a meme. It's just it started off as that the face, that funny face that it makes, that they made it like a whole coin thing even after, because the meme was so popular.
It's like what the F face.
Yeah.
Whoa, what the scared dog right there. That dog does not know what you're about to do to him. It's traumatized. It's a traumatized face right there. What did you do to that dog? And I think it's like an old Asian lady that owns him.
Yeah, I think the dog itself was a she too. I think. Oh,
okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think I could be wrong on that. I think it was a she, and the actual dog's name was Kabosu.
That's right.
Yeah, and I mean, but for like how long the actual dog lived, like it 18 years. It's a good life for a dog. 18 years in dog years is like 90 something in human years. Like he's up there, or she. I messed up too. She's up there, or she was up there. So she lived a pretty good life for a dog.
I think they said that they had she had cancer toward like it's at the later years of its age.
Yeah,
in 5 years, which is impressive. So they were really taking care of the dog. I'm forgetting the breed, but it's a very popular breed. It's like Shinzu.
Yeah, Shiba.
It's a Shiba, yeah.
It's a Shiba. Yeah, they typically only live for like 15 years. So she lived pretty long for her breed.
Yeah, absolutely. They, props to them for taking care of it. I'm not much of a Doge guy. I can't say I'm much of a Doge guy. But in terms of cryptocurrency, I still feel like there's a market for it in terms of because there's still a lot of, or lack thereof, understanding in terms of centralized currency. And there's a lot of controversy just behind that as well. It's like, why would you want to centralize? This is probably at least 95% of the One Piece fandom. Why they might feel this topic is controversial between the one world government, right? And you got one currency, right? But it's essentially to kind of saturate the currencies of, or not specifically or implicitly to saturated, or rather intentionally to saturated, but to ensure that there is a balance, and there's always there's a higher demand for a specific currency. And even when you go into the the metaverse, when all you guys have your metaverse profiles and your metaverse logins, and it's Sword Art Online, we're basically tuning into games with real currency, essentially. The currency redefined, and I think Doge was sort of a part of that era before, I guess after Bitcoin and all Ethereum and all the other cryptocurrencies out there. But there's still, I think this sort of is probably, I'm not sure what this is doing to the Doge third parties out there, their markets behind, however many much of the block they've actually bought up. But Dogecoin, man. Dogecoin is officially she's officially passed away. It's unfortunate to hear that. But yeah, I guess next up we'll officially go into our movies and series news, which is Secret Wars reportedly is reviving two classic superheroes to lead the Avengers, right? And there's two major deaths that's going to come with that, which I'm curious as to who those people may be. Like who is, just based off of that. Who do you think? Who do you presume will be the two classic superheroes that'll come in two major deaths? Who do you think those will be?
That's hard to say, because I'm not even sure what they mean by reviving two classic superheroes and what they mean by classic superheroes. Because like reviving two classic superheroes could mean just like, they're bringing back like a superhero that they haven't used in a long time. It could just mean like revived in that sense. Or it could mean reviving a classic superhero, like a hero that literally actually died in the story.
Well, let me ask you this:
or in their or in the MCU itself.
Did the Secret Wars? It's a series, I believe it's on Disney Plus, right? And apparently it's going to also have a movie franchise associated with that. But in terms of its continuity, is it after Endgame, Avengers Endgame?
I would assume they would make it after Endgame. Like, I'm not sure when the continuity of the actual comic takes place, but I'm assuming like in the MCU that they're currently setting up, it wouldn't make. Well, I guess they could make it before Endgame, but I'm assuming they would want to move forward.
Okay. And so who do you think? So, assuming that.
But I mean, when I hear the word revive, like one of them I instantly think of is Iron Man, because he died. Like he died in Endgame.
And they said they would bring Iron Man back. I want to say that was something that was theorized at the very least, because of the new Iron Man, the Black. I think she was, she was in the Black Panther movie, the last one. Spoiler if you haven't seen it already. But essentially, she was like some like Harvard graduate or something like. She was a like high prestigious university graduate, scientist, and it's also canon in the comics as well. But she was a little young, and not. I think she was young, of course, which was an opinion amongst the community. But also, I think another thing that was kind of tipping the scales here is that she didn't have like a recognizable enough face. Like she didn't really seem like she fit the role to replace Iron Man. Tony Stark, right? Robert Downey Jr. Is a huge role,
Right.
The huge actor. So to kind of replace that, almost kind of sidelines Iron Man. But yeah,
like that's the first one that I immediately think of. Just hearing the word revive makes me immediately think of him because he died in the story. And then, oh man, like another one. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
Oh, I know Captain America died, and then Black Panther he also died, right?
What was the last person you said?
Black Panther.
Oh yeah, Black Panther died. Yep.
And so I don't know because I know they were talking about Michael B. Jordan reprising a role as like Black Panther, but I also feel like they were talking. I don't see why they would need to revive, like if they're talking literally, which I'm assuming because people died in the game. Thanos, right?
Right.
Those are the three most popular people that died. Now I'm forgetting if there are any other people that died in game. I know there was there's a lot of people, but those are the three most popular, I think, people that died. But there was also the replacement, like what's that? There, Captain America had a replacement. He had wings.
Oh yeah, with Falcon.
Falcon, yeah. He basically replaced him as Captain America. So I don't know why they would need to revive Captain America. Was Hulk die? Did Hulk die?
No, Hulk didn't die.
Hulk didn't die. Okay.
Nope.
Dang.
You said dang.
Yeah, I would have hoped that he would die, but Hulk low-key, so a lot of those people, but they never showcased that, and I would have liked them to bring him back and be like, he's back now, like the old Hulk is back, the one that'll kick your face in type of Hulk,
Right. I think Gamora died, but I don't see them bringing her back though, because I remember in the first Avengers, Thanos threw her off. He threw her off the cliff.
Yeah, but she was in Galaxy of the
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy, right? She was like an important part of that.
Was she the one that? Was she in the one? Was there one that took place after the events of Endgame?
Was there? There might have been a third one.
Because if there wasn't, then she's gone.
Yeah, I don't know.
But even if she was, though, I don't see them making too big of a deal of bringing her back. Like, she's not that popular of a character. I think it'd be definitely Iron Man for sure. But
wasn't she like Thor's lover or something?
She's was she his lover?
I feel like she may have been like Thor's lover.
She might have been. It's been a minute since I've seen the movie.
Because I feel like Thor could bring her back, couldn't he? Like, doesn't he have the power to bring her back? I know Thor is like stupid strong, and he's a god.
Comic Thor probably could, but probably not like MCU Thor.
Yeah, I don't know.
MCU Thor is not he's not as strong.
Yeah, they nerfed the heck out of
He is nerfed.
What the heck? Like, who is this man on the screen? Get this man off the screen. Bring the real Thor to me. The one that rivals Odin. That's what I want. And then, of course, what's his brother's name?
Loki.
Loki. Didn't Loki die?
I think Loki did die. But is Loki considered a hero though?
In the end, like in parts of like the multiverse, like he is.
Yeah, I guess he could be a hero.
Depending on his variant, like he can see, like he's basically control. If you watched the Loki series on was on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I've watched some of it.
Yeah, I still gotta catch up, but I know at one point he's like controlling like the strings of fate. Right. He's like overseeing everyone basically. He's like one of the strongest people in the MCU. And so I don't know. I feel like that would be a stretch just because they he would basically be like what's his name from Mortal Kombat that just pops in. What that's the wrong person.
From Mortal Kombat that just pops
Yeah,
in.
he like with lightning.
Oh, like Raiden?
Raiden, yeah, like Raiden. How Raiden just pops in. And it's like, you must do this, and he's like, bye, and he disappears with lightning. That's usually like one of those people I could maybe see Loki doing that, or just kind of being like someone that would plot. I don't know, a little bit of stretch. Who do you think is going to be like the two deaths?
Ooh, the two deaths. Dang, I didn't even think about it. This is funny, but because you already said it, but I was thinking Hulk might be one of them.
Damn.
I didn't want to say it because you already said it, but I was thinking Hulk and man, who else? Who would it even make sense besides Hulk?
Did Captain Marvel die?
Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel did not die.
She didn't die? Okay.
No. I feel like Captain Marvel dying wouldn't be that impactful, though. I'm not even going to lie.
It wouldn't. Like, they had a whole movie, and they were talking about why it didn't get the amount of hype it deserves because she was a female.
Yeah.
And I, although I agree with the idea that it might not have gotten the hype it deserved because of her being a female lead. I also feel like she's not well known in terms of, like, she wasn't ready to reprise that role. I don't think she was ready to reprise that role yet. Maybe a few like good movies, like well-known movies, and then maybe worked into that genre, then she may have been prepared. I think it would have been a better, more impactful. Because like even with Scarlett Johansson, right? Like Black Widow, bro, she's got that.
Oh yeah, she did a great job as Black Widow.
And so I don't know. I feel like she just wasn't ready for that. But in terms of like who could die,
I don't know. I just wasn't feeling her character very much because I've seen Captain Marvel. Like, I didn't think it was a bad movie by any means. I just wasn't. I didn't find the character very interesting, and I wasn't sure if it was like you were saying because of the way that she portrayed the character, or just because of the movie itself. It could have been a mixture of both, or it could have been one or the other. But I just wasn't feeling the character very much.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. I gotta agree with you. You're saying Captain Marvel, right?
Yeah, Captain Marvel.
As a death?
No. Well, yeah, as a death too. Like, if she died, I just don't feel like it would have that much of an impact like that. Now, if you killed somebody like Doctor Strange or something, like, I feel like
that would be cool.
That would be crazy. Yeah.
Who you replace him with? Like it. Yeah, I mean, like.
Now I could see that, like Doctor Strange and Hulk. Yeah, that would make an impact.
Because he'd be for sure. Like that would be like, whoa, that's Doctor Strange. Like, what? How would you replace Doctor Strange? Doctor Strange is ridiculously strong. Even Dr. Fate can't compare to him.
Right?
And Dr. Fate is crazy, but no, yeah, for sure. I think that I don't know. I feel like Marvel needs to slow down overall. Like, they're making all these big moves, and all their movies feel very blah, right? Like they're starting to feel repetitive. Like, there's no heartstrings being tugged. When important people die, it's like, oh, okay, cool. But Doctor Strange, you kill off Doctor Strange, I feel like people might drop Marvel. Like, let me
like that's why I mentioned that one. People would lose it if you kill Doctor Strange.
Yeah. So I want to see them. I want to see them try it. Take it slow. Because a lot of their movies feel very by the book, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know, like they have a recipe and they just
Stick to it.
stick to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see them do something out of range, right? And unfortunately, like I don't think, you know, I feel like they're okay with receiving like, you know, consistent. Like Marvel's owned by Disney, is it not?
Yeah, it is.
Like they have like so much backing, like money supported, funding supported by it, that it's very difficult for them to make any dramatic moves in terms of like, unless they absolutely need to. I don't know. It's very difficult. There's a lot of money that is that a lot of things that would have to be taken into consideration because of the fact of money. But yeah.
Yeah, going into
that,
our should we go into our next bit of news?
yeah, throw it at me. What is
All
it?
right. So like Quentin Tarantino's cult classic franchise, Kill Bill. So supposedly, well, no, it's confirmed at this point. Zendaya is playing the role as the lead Nikita, alongside the former lead Uma Thurman, who played I think she was the bride Beatrice in the original movies. So she's
That's
going to
right.
she's going to reprise her role as the same character, and it seems like through like the promotional images and stuff like that, like the posters and stuff, she might be playing like sort of a leadership or like a teacher role to Zendaya's new character. So I'm interested in seeing like where they take this. But the movie, I've seen a poster where I think it said like Kill Bride. So that makes me interested in the plot in a way. Because I wonder like if it's a situation where like she trains her up, but then like after she trains her up, like she has to take out like her master in the end for some reason.
Yeah, no,
Like,
that makes a lot of sense.
yeah, just from the title, that's the vibe that I get from it.
Yeah, and even though I named the video Kill Bill, it's still technically Kill Bill, but Kill Bride. I don't know. I'm unsure as to like what the official title is, but it's speculated it could be Kill Bill Volume 3 or just Kill Bride 3. Which also makes a lot more sense because it kind of gives detail. Maybe that was leaked and that was not supposed to be leaked, but it seems like, of course, Zendaya is going to be joining us, stepping into the shoes of Nikita, the daughter of Vernita Green, seeking her own path of vengeance. So yeah, maybe she's like I'm thinking maybe this is just me not even reading into the details. Maybe the person playing is like Zendaya is like trained, like she probably like trained herself. Maybe she trained herself or was trained by a lesser master, and then runs into Kill Bill and is not prepared. And then Kill Bill like helps her, like this is what's actually going on. Like all these people are trying to kill me because I was trying to kill this person, and all these people work for this organization. Blah 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 blah. Right, and so that's what I kind of see happening, and that's how Zendaya takes over her role. Now, personally, I don't like Zendaya playing this role, but I'm gonna go with it. Right. Personally, I would rather someone like Jenna Ortega, because I feel like she has she's had more darker roles, right? So she would fit perfectly in this aesthetic. She's played in darker children series, gravitated series like Wednesday. She's also played in more R-rated films. So, yeah, that would have been perfect for Wednesday. But in terms of appeal, and she's got the age to but regardless, this may be a developmental role for Zendaya taking on and reprising that role, being the main lead, which I would extremely like. I just hope that it's done right. It says it's set years after the event of Kill Bill 2 Volume 2. I don't know exactly how many years, The narrative follows Beatrix Kiddo. I know Bill called her Kiddo, so
Yeah.
I never even knew. I never even realized that her last name was Kiddo or Kido, but he's always called her Kiddo, right? And so maybe that was also a mistake on their part, where her name was actually Kido. In terms of spelling, maybe I'm looking too deeply into it. But as she navigates through the complexities of her past while facing new adversities, when Nikita discovers the truth about her mother's fate, she embarks on a perilous quest for justice, intertwining her destiny with Beatrix once again. So yeah, it seems like what I was saying, maybe she either trained herself or trained by a lesser master, decided to seek justice on her mother's death, not really knowing or understanding the undergoings of what Beatrix had to go through and what she actually means. As an old enemy resurfacing and new alliances form, the stakes escalate to unprecedented heights, culminating an explosive showdown that will define the legacy of Kill Bill. Uma Thurman returns to the screen with her trademark ferocity, reprising the role that solidified her in her action cinema icons. Zendaya brings a fresh perspective to the franchise, infusing Nikita with a blend of vulnerability and strength, which again makes sense because she just carries that, like, I'm not as skilled as Numa is 50, 60-year-old Numa Thurman type of energy. Like, I'm sorry, but it seems like that might be the case anyways.
Right.
But it might be a good developmental role for her. I think this may, if done right, it's again, Quentin Tarantino helms the project, so it is a Quentin Tarantino film, promising fans a signature style of storytelling and dynamic action sequence with electrifying chemistry between Thurman and Zendaya on Tarantino's visionary direction. Kill Bill 3 is poised to captivate audiences once again. Fans eagerly anticipate the continuation of the saga, ready to embark upon another adrenaline-filled journey in the heart of vengeance, vengeance and redemption. So yeah, that seems very self-explanatory. This is no official sources have been released yet, but we're going to continue to keep you guys updated with what's going on with the new Kill Bill movie that is soon to release. It looks like there's gonna be a trailer coming out really soon, and Zendaya is looking really dope on this thumbnail promo. I don't know if it's official, but I'm not really liking the weapon she's got. If you see what I'm putting down, I don't feel like, it kind of gives me like Kill Bill 2 vibe or Kill Bill 1 vibes with the chick, the younger teenager girl that was like the boss, and she was like younger than everyone at the table. If you guys remember that scene. And
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. That's what this kind of gives me, like Zendaya role, but Numa Thurman's got experience, man. You better shoot, man. Even though she may be relaxed, like I think Numa didn't Beatrix have a daughter? Like, bruh, what?
Yeah, she did have a daughter. I think that she got from Bill at the very end of the movie.
Yeah. So how is that even incorporated in there? Like, is this her daughter? Is this her real daughter? Like, is she gonna be training her real daughter?
I think the way that you described the synopsis, like, it immediately made me think of remember how I think it was Vivica Fox that played the role of like one of the people that were a member of the group that did Uma in the original movies. And I remember she had a daughter that was in the house when like Uma was going to go take her out. and she hesitated on killing her because she seen that her daughter was there. So then, like, she waited for like her daughter to go to school or something like that, and then she killed her. So I think like she's probably just like that daughter grown up.
Well, I saw some promo of that daughter, and it didn't look like even like the complexion. First off,
it's off. Yeah.
Well, it seemed to match the complexion of the girl. The new promo of another picture that I saw. But again, it seemed to match that exact. It looked like it may have been even the same little girl that grew up, basically, that was older. That will also be a part of this entire picture here. So maybe this will be like an enemy that she faces.
I see.
And maybe I don't know, because Numa Thurman's daughter, like, I don't feel like she would train her daughter just because of the amount of
trauma.
Right? I feel like she may have slacked off on the training, but she's still like that's Beatrix, man. Like she was a bride. Like, she took a break off, right? She took a break to become a bride. You killed her husband, and then she decided to come back. Like, she went into retirement early, and then you put her back in the game, and then she came back and killed everyone. Like, come on, that's Beatrix right there. So I wouldn't put her past her to still be on her game. I just don't think she would be the one to train her daughter, or feel a need to. But because of this, she may at least be able to defend herself against a threat like Zendaya or anyone else who wasn't in that organization, because Bill was in charge of that organization, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, no, I was saying that I think Zendaya might be. I forgot the name of like her actual character, but Vivica Fox's daughter that went to school before Uma went and killed her. I think she's her daughter.
And you're talking about the kitchen scene, right?
Yeah, that kitchen scene or whatever it was. It's been a minute since I've seen the movie.
There was promo suggesting there was another person taking that role.
Oh, okay, I get what you're saying.
And so that's all I was saying. I don't know. You could be right. Maybe this is the person.
No, I get what you're saying now. I thought you were saying that I was saying like Uma sent her own daughter to school, and she wouldn't train her own daughter.
No, I still don't think that.
But I get what you meant though. Now that you cleared it up, I get you.
Okay, yeah, that's all I was saying. Dang, yeah, the bride is back, man. But this is probably gonna really focus on. I hope there is. I don't know. I gotta be optimistic because it's Kill Bill. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, but I just don't know how they're gonna work with Zendaya. Like, there's not one movie I can think of aside from her role. And like Spider-Man, where I'm like, she did an okay job. That was more of like a Disney Channel role, and even like she had like another like a dramatic romance that with John Washington, that it was essentially just yelling the entire team. Like, who directed that? First, who has the patience to direct that? Like, over and over, just yelling. That's all there was. Complaining and yelling throughout the whole movie. There was very little romance. Like, there was like a little bit of like, maybe I'll kiss you. And there, aside from that, it was all blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I mean, man, come on. That's essentially what I see whenever I think of like Zendaya. There's very little roles where I think of outside of Disney Channel and Spider-Man where I'm like, and that's, she did that role, but I don't know. Maybe. I know she's a singer too, so I don't know. Maybe she's been practicing. I don't know. But aside from that, I guess next up we have MCU Spider-Man 4. I guess it's reported that has been reported or rumored rather that filming is going to start in the fall. How are you feeling about this?
I guess it's a good thing. I just don't know. It's hard for me to vision like where they're going to take this series after Spider-Man No Way Home, which I think was the last one. Yeah, No Way Home was the last one. Like No Way Home just seemed very conclusive for me. Like it just seemed like that whole big conclusive ending to a trilogy, and they brought back like all the other classic Spider-Mans that were played by Tobey Maguire and what's the name of that one guy that played in the Amazing Spider-Man?
Tom Holland?
Huh?
Was it Tom Harlan or was it Andrew Garfield?
Andrew Garfield. Yeah, Tom Holland is Spider-Man in the current Disney trilogy.
That's right. He's here to stay.
yeah. But yeah, like them doing that and bringing all of them back just made that movie seem like, you know, like an ending type of thing. So I guess I just wonder, you know, where they take it from here. It's just hard to wonder where they take it from here. But I'm interested in checking it out, kind of thing. It doesn't bring me the same excitement that I had when the other ones were coming out, but I'll still check it out.
Did Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man die at the end of the movie, or did they?
I don't remember him dying. Yeah, I think he just went back to his timeline. I don't remember him dying.
So if that's the case,
I think there was like a joke in the movie that he was dying. Like they were making like some joke of it or something like that, but he didn't actually die.
Okay, and I think this is like the loophole that, you know, Marvel or MCU has found, where essentially, you know, they just opened up the timeline, you know, aspects of things, and maybe they'll have Andrew Garfield and maybe go into maybe like a darker role, and that's how we'll get like a continuation of the specific or the primary Spider-Man movies is through Andrew Garfield. I think I would like that. I also heard some rumors as to like Carnage coming officially. This was something I think mentioned a few years ago.
Okay, now Carnage coming back, that would actually get me excited. Like if that's a thing.
I gotta re-update myself, refamiliarize myself with Carnage, but I feel like I do remember that he was at least stronger than Venom, and more vicious than Venom. Like Venom's like sort of he's got like schizophrenia, like he's got like very human type like mental conditions, right? As to where Carnage, I think he's more vicious because he's just more vicious.
Yeah, he's just more. From what I remember, he's stronger and a lot more violent in general.
Right. And shoot, you know, that's I gotta apologize because I didn't do my due diligence on checking to find out like the specific differences. I do feel like I do know that Carnage is like one of the strongest symbiotes, right?
Yeah, he is.
And so yeah, that might be something to dive into in the future. Hopefully we get a trailer pretty soon for the Spider-Man 4. How are you feeling about this?
A trailer would be nice because I mean that would definitely put things a lot more into perspective. Because like I said, like just for me, like it's just really hard for me to picture just where they go with it from here, because the last one just seemed just so conclusive with everything. It's just like, you know, just what do you do after that? You know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
At least with like Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man. Now, if they did do like what you said, and they mixed it up by like bringing back, I already forgot his name. You just said it, Andrew
Garfield.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield. If they do that, that would get me a lot more, you know, interested. Because I don't think like he was bad, you know, in his acting role as Spider-Man. He was just put into like a movie that wasn't as good as the ones that came before with the Amazing Spider-Man. But I think him as an actor, he did a decent job.
He basically reprised the role directly after Tobey Maguire, right?
He did. He was right after Tobey.
So yeah, him bringing him bringing them back, I feel like he could. They would have a name, a face of the name, or a name of the face, and they would also be able to kind of transition his character and in the genre, as opposed to adding a completely new character. I mean, the only two people fitted for this role of for this darker aesthetic, if this is the actual direction, is the two uh Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire.
Right.
But yeah, what do we have next?
Let's see. Next up, we have Lucasfilm is working on a Knights of the Old Republic TV series for Spider-Man. And I just said Spider-Man because we're just talking about it. Not Spider-Man, Star Wars. For Star Wars. So the Knights of the Old Republic, I remember it was like an old video game that was like way back on like PlayStation 2. And I think it was on computers as well. And it was based on like the Old Republic era of the Star Wars franchise. And I know like it's something like the comics cover like that era of Star Wars pretty extensively. I haven't read into that era, but like I have friends and stuff that played like the Knights of the Old Republic's games, and they loved it. And you know they're pretty excited for something being done with that franchise in general because it has some pretty cool characters in it. So I'm kind of excited to see where they go with this, or if not excited, just at least interested in seeing what they do with this.
I'm vaguely sort of thinking that they, if I remember correctly, I think they were trying to come out with like a more of like an open world MMORPG type of.
Yeah, it was like an open world MMORPG type Star Wars game.
But this is supposed to be for like newer consoles. I do remember playing Knights of the Old Republic on PS2. I remember. If I remember correctly, yeah, I think it was Knights of the Old Republic on PS2, and I gotta say, I didn't make it far in that game before I decided to give up because it gave me Splinter Cell vibes. Like I was like, man, I can't levels, like I gotta sneak around, you know, I gotta kill certain people, and they were just too crazy OP. Never got the controls down. I don't know. It kind of I don't know. Maybe it was just me at that time and age. It was PS2, so
yeah. I never had Knights of the Old Republic myself. I had friends who had that one, but I did have Splinter Cell. So when you say like it had Splinter Cell vibes, like I completely immediately know what you mean when you say that.
That's sort of how I would kind of attribute the controls and gameplay. How it played, it felt like I was playing Splinter Cell essentially, but yeah. A TV show would not be bad. A TV series. I hope that they. I feel like it's gonna be on Disney Plus. I don't know. I don't think it'll be bad. To be honest,
I don't think it would be bad. Disney's last couple of projects with Star Wars as of lately, they haven't been that bad. Like they've been okay to good so far. Like as far as I watched, and then as far as like I've been hearing from other people. So I don't think it'd be bad. Like at worst it'll be okay, but I don't think it'd be bad. They haven't made anything Star Wars related that's just downright terrible in a minute, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, there's another Star Wars series that's coming out too that looks pretty good. I can't think of it at the moment, but I know we talked about it in our previous podcast. So if you guys would like to go check that out, gotta make sure to put some timestamps in these bad boys. Hopefully, by the time everyone is seeing this, that'll be the case. We'll have them timestamps in these videos. But yeah, this is great news. Next up, we have Marvel Studios is reportedly trying to cast Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and to play and an X-Men villain, the X-Men villain Apocalypse, which I don't know about that. Like they try to keep giving Dwayne the Rock Johnson these semi-dark roles to dark roles, and he just fails it every time. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Whenever I think of Dwayne the Rock, I think like motivator, like
Yeah, like big goofy dude,
ball, like the serious baller, right? I'm this big dude on steroids. Got the Rock. That's the type of vibes I get from everything Rock related. Like I'm this billionaire, but in my part time, on my free time, I'm the Rock.
Yeah, I just get like big goofy like motivational vibes from him, like you said, like just like yeah.
Yeah.
So like imagining him playing Apocalypse, I don't know, but we'll see. It is what it is.
Yeah, he hasn't. I don't think he's built like a rapport with this type of direction. Like I feel like in terms of he's just been trying to make money, right? Like I don't see him having passion in this role, but he's an actor, and I give him credit. He's always been an actor. I give him credit for that. I just don't think he's ready for this role. Like the same thing with Zendaya. I don't think he's ready for the role. Like I think that he has to, like, if there are some darker movies out there with him, and I need to see him playing on the same, like, or similar, like, scale as like Split, right? The same actor that played in the Split, the same act, like Samuel Jackson was in one of those movies, and was it Glass?
Yeah, he was in Glass, and I think he was in two of them. He was in Glass and the first one. I just can't. I keep forgetting the name of the first one.
Yeah, he was in the Samuel Jackson and how am I forgetting his name? Oh my god,
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis was in the first and the last one.
Yeah.
But yeah, for first and third one rather. But yeah, I need to see him playing. Like there was an actor, the actor that played in Split, which was the second one. I need him playing on that same type of frequency right there. I feel like that would help develop his role in a more dark, appealing role. This right here, like, I can't even be optimistic about it. I know he's gonna basically. I know he's gonna get the role, but I don't think he's gonna nail the role. I need him to go out of the box with this one, right? For me to catch anything eye related when it pertains to Dwayne. I'm not gonna say it, Dwayne Johnson. I gotta say it, but yeah, those are my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. The next thing we had to bring up was apparently there is and we were just talking about symbiotes too. There's an R-rated Venom animated project in the works at Sony Pictures.
Ooh.
So yeah, like this an R-rated Venom movie. I don't even think Venom 1 and 2 that came out recently were R-rated, but I could be wrong with that. Were they R-rated? Do you know?
No, I don't.
I don't think they were. Just because, from my memory, just the way the movies were. Like there was a lot of times when like somebody got eaten or something like that, but I remember it being off screen, so I don't think that they were R-rated. So I mean, Venom himself, like, is kind of a darker character. So go ahead.
I'm thinking back at like the earlier Spider-Man series, like 1, 2, and 3. And how, like, I think most of them were PG-13, but they carried more of a serious, darker type of tone.
Right.
I feel I need them to bring that back. And I just don't see how they would incorporate that within
like animation.
Venom, unless he's like we could see him torturing and killing people, and it's more of like I don't know what's a dark superhero movie out there that I could kind of attribute it to.
Oh man, I haven't seen a good dark superhero movie as of recently in a minute. Not for a dark superhero.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
like those are always hard to nail.
If it carried less of a jokey tone and more of like I don't know, Superman Returns tone, where it was serious, and there are points where there were like serious instances, but you remember, oh, it's Superman, like he's invincible, right? There's no kryptonite, so I mean, with I don't know, maybe with Venom, they could pin him, they could actually show more of his character, or at least all the mental conditions that he has, and maybe an origin story, or a few origin stories, and maybe kind of connect those. I feel like that might be a direction to go down, but I don't know. That's interesting. Sony Pictures, huh?
Yep. By Sony. I think Sony made or published the last two Venom films as well. So that sounds about right.
Interesting. Next up we have and I'm gonna butcher this name, Giancarlo Esposito. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Giancarlo Esposito. As the new King the Conqueror. He's being provided the role, or suspected he'll be given the role of King the Conqueror, the new King the Conqueror, since John what's his name? John
Boyega.
No, wrong character.
John.
Not John. Maybe.
Okay, you meant John, but you mean like a completely different person now.
So who had the previous role of King the Conqueror?
King the Conqueror actor. It was Jonathan.
Yep.
Majors, right?
Yeah. Yep. Jonathan Majors. That's what it was. Yeah. I mean, granted, I feel like he would have been a good role. Again, it was a starter developmental role for Jonathan Majors, but for Giancarlo, this is the guy from Breaking Bad, the guy from is the guy from there's another series that came out just like a last month. I'm forgetting the name of the series, but it was also drug related. I don't know. This guy was in The Boys, right? He's been everywhere. He was in Better Call Saul. Was he in Better Call Saul? No, he wasn't in Better Call Saul.
Nah, he wasn't. I don't think.
But this guy obviously has the talent and the track record to make something phenomenal out of this role. And I'm actually excited if this is the case. Again, this is speculation at this point. I haven't seen anything that has given me any confirmation on this particular title, but I would be excited and hopeful for him to reprise this role. I think he would kill it. I feel like it's Marvel, so I feel like if anything, this kind of diminishes his character, and that's big. That says something about your track record if that's the case. But it gives him some, I guess, credence with the younger generation of fans that appreciate King the Conqueror. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they could do some things with CGI and such, but yeah, interesting stuff.
Yeah, even more news. Something else that's interesting was Keanu Reeves is supposed to be playing in the new Dracula movie that's coming up. It's also going to have Jenna Ortega also playing in a lead role within the movie. It's produced by Universal Pictures, and production is going to start in this fall. And the synopsis is saying like the focus is going to be like in on areas from mysterious forests from Transylvania, and it's going to go from Transylvania to like Victorian London, so kind of like a dark kind of atmosphere to it. So it sounds, just from like the synopsis and what they're saying they're going for, it sounds kind of interesting. Like I could kind of see like Keanu Reeves playing like a Dracula role, because like he's kind of like, I don't know, he has that kind of vibe to him, like that kind of quieter kind of darker character. He can do that pretty well.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves has played in a plethora of different movies. He's a multifaceted actor. Keanu Reeves, he played in something more recently, darker role. I think it was in Russia. Let me see. Russia. Was it Siberian? Maybe it's Siberia. Siberia. Yeah, that's what it was. I think it was one of the darker movies he's made at more recent, more recent. But yeah, no, for sure, this is a great. I think this is going to be a great movie, a great direction for both Keanu Reeves and Jenna Ortega. I feel like this is going to be more developmental for Jenna Ortega, just because she's played in a plethora of movies. There's been some more R-rated series that she's played in as of recently. It was like she actually like had sex on scene with the guy. I don't know if it was I don't know if it was basically if she actually did it, or if they just did their backstage magic where they made it seem like it. Either or, I don't know. Regardless, she's an adult, but I feel like and it was a horror movie, as a matter of fact. And so she's played in a lot of horrors. She's built that track record, and alongside Keanu Reeves, this is essentially kind of a head nod. Like, yeah, we can work with Keanu Reeves, right? Which should say a lot. And in a Dracula movie, like, this is, I don't even know what to say about that. Like, I wasn't expecting anything Dracula. The most Dracula thing that I was expecting is Blade, right? And so maybe this will be more of like a way to kind of lean into the Blade franchise, maybe a prerequisite. I don't know, but I mean, either way, this is great news. I also heard that Keanu Reeves, apparently there's going to be The Matrix 5 was also rumored to be coming out, and I forgot to leave that piece of news out, but after rewatching Matrix Resurrections, and then also being a huge, if you don't know, the channel is hugely inspired, at least the Zone FanFic channel is hugely inspired by the Matrix. So for sure, this is Keanu Reeves is one of my favorite actors, and Jenna Ortega is slowly creeping her way toward my one of my faves as well, as far as the new generation of actors. But yeah, this is dope stuff.
For sure.
Next up we have Andrew Silva and Terry Crews fight rumors. What?
Oh no, I don't know how to feel about that. Like, this is the first not the first time I heard about it, but I've heard about rumors of this, which is kind of crazy because like Mike Tyson also is supposed to be fighting Jake Paul in like July.
Yeah,
which that itself is kind of crazy too. But like Anderson Silva versus Terry Crews is just like, oh no, like I don't even know how to feel about that. Just like why was it brought up?
You sound like you lost like a piece of like your heart dropped when you said, "Oh no," and I felt that right there. That's exactly. It feels like it's unfortunate. Like Terry Crews, like you're getting ready to kill yourself, bro. I don't know if you got that same thing, but Andrew Silva,
Anderson Silva is a beast. Like
does MMA for and Terry Crews is an actor. Like, and so I don't know. Again, I don't know how to feel about this either because I don't understand these YouTubers trying to box actors anymore, or sorry, trying to box like actual like martial artists and boxers. I don't understand the Mike Tyson versus um, Jake Jake Paul boxing match either. Like I feel like the industry of like boxing and MMA has just become so mainstream pop culture centric that they don't care. Whatever generates revenue is what's going to get the biggest bucks. So it's essentially like marketed off of the pure hype of both fan bases, and so it maybe there may be like some type of bottleneck between like fighters and fighters nowadays. So now different fighters feel like they have to, maybe I'm sure they're taking stock in these inside of like UFC and boxing corporations. So regardless, I feel like Mike Tyson is getting paid either or. If he loses, he's still getting paid for even advertising the fight, right? And a lot of people don't recognize that is most likely the case. Or at least a lot of people that are not familiar with UFC and boxing and stuff. But yeah, it's unfortunate and fortunate. Like I'll play along. I've watched what's that called, WWE and Raw. I've watched that. So whatever. I could go along with it, but I'm not gonna support it. that's
No, like I completely feel you on that. Like you have the exact same thoughts as me on that. I'm just like, when you said like my heart kind of I was disheartened when I'm just like, why? Like, nah, like I really am. It's just like, why? Like, why are they doing this?
Yeah.
Like I feel the same way about this one as I feel with Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. It's like, come on, like, what are y'all doing? This is
you're trying to die in the ring, or are we trying to see death? And that's the hype right there. Just what I said right there. That's the hype. It's like, whoa, if they make it out alive, that means everyone can make it out alive, and everyone's going to be trying to tune in and watch, up and coming YouTubers fighting against, or trying to get a fight with
right against retired like professional trained fighters. It's like, come on,
ridiculous. Yeah,
crazy.
Good times.
Next up, we have Squid Game season 2. We don't have the exact release date for Squid Game season 2, but it's coming out sometime December this year, supposedly. So it's been a minute for me since I seen Squid Game season 1.
It was good. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I just can't remember exactly how it ended. Like I remember.
Oh, it ended how you think it would. How you think it would have ended. Essentially, like it was more so of like it. I don't think it was more so just like understanding the games, right? And sort of seeing how these characters would traverse through these games. I think that was where a lot of my enjoyment came from, and even see like it was pretty big actually. Like you see like Mr. Beast, made his own Squid Game, and other people tried to the Squid Game challenge, right? And even like I'd walk around like random places. That sounds weird, but I'd walk different locations or show up at different locations, and I'd see like a card, and I'm like, yo, that's pretty dope. If I pick this up and call it, what happens?
Oh yeah, I've been to like a restaurant before, and they had like a whole Squid Game thing going on like inside the restaurant. It's like a little small place where they had Japanese. No, not Japanese. Wait, is it Japanese? Either Japanese or Chinese food. It's called baos, which are like. Have you ever had those before? They're
Um,
like little
are they
it's
are they
almost
like,
like
dumplings?
yeah, they're almost like little breaded dumpling things that have like they're topped with like different meats and stuff. But like the whole restaurant was Squid Game themed, and I thought that was like really cool.
That is actually pretty dope. I went actually last shoot Japanese focused restaurant I went to was like this noodle place. Yeah, I think is I want to feel like it's same Naruto places is it was Naruto themed, but Yaku ramen. What is it called? Yaku.
For the
Yaku.
place that you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Oh, they might have named it. You said something like Yaku Ramen. They might have just named it directly after Ichiraku Ramen from like Naruto.
I want to say it was Ikarashi ramen. And I'm butchering the name, but let me see. Was it? It couldn't have been Nami, was it? I don't know. It was a noodle place, and they had like Naruto themes, and they had like Ikaraku ramen. They had their actual ramen in there, and they had like certain character specials, and, like anime plans. That was pretty dope. But that was pretty much the last restaurant experience in terms of anime I had. But yeah, that was that kind of concludes our movie / series news. We'll be diving into our news / tech news. So, all right, the chart essentially, right, for news and tech. I don't want to start it off like this, but I guess I will anyways. The Church of Scientology affiliate Terence Howard enlightens people on the Joe Rogan podcast with his outspoken theories, specifically a theory of universal wave function, which is, to say the least, it's very impractical and dumb. If you understand anything to do with physics or biology, you understand that there's a lot of even just the Church of Scientology, they try to make it sort of somewhat of a religious practice that is also concrete in science. So they embed like in its less religious context, more theoretical based concepts based on um on God complex ideology. And that's vague, but it that I think almost specifically correlates to what they practice, at least, or did practice when they were most active. And so, yeah, I don't know. Terrence Howard, I guess he basically came on this podcast and kind of showcased that, yeah, he came up with this theory and that he tried to basically introduce to multiple research organizations and universities, and a lot of them laughed at him, and for good cause. I mean, if you guys watch the same video or even watch debunked videos, you understand that there's something off about this guy. A lot of people, some people were speculating maybe it was due to him trying to reprise the role alongside Will Smith in The Matrix, or trying to reprise the role to maintain the role within Spider-Man 2, which was a role that he lost, but he also apparently wasn't in good faith with the director for Spider-Man 1. But yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess he's basically came out mentioning that has been patents on. He came out with these patents. He has original patents for virtual virtual reality and augmented reality, which I don't know. How do you feel about that? And he basically, to finish that point, he essentially says he has like he has the patents for, or let me go back and actually so a statement that he said, right, he had invented augmented reality and virtual technology. He owned the patents cited by 31 companies that developed AR and VR technologies such as Microsoft, Amazon, HP, IBM, Sony, GoPro, and amongst others. And so I don't know, how are you feeling about that?
I feel like he's just talking. I think he either with the patent, I think he either, because he's saying he owned it. So either he actually owned a patent and he sold that patent, or he just never had a patent to begin with. Because if the patent is, if what he's saying is being used by 31 different companies, that means that it's not patented under his name, like right now, as of right now. Once something's patented under your name, the only person that can use that commercially is just you yourself, or like that person, the company that that you're under. So I feel like he's just talking, but did you say something?
On the podcast, he actually says he owns the patent for all companies, but other statements would suggest he meant he owned, past tense, these patents. Which,
like own past tense could be a possibility, but there's no way that he owns it. Like if he owned the actual patent, like right now, like all these 31 different companies, they'd be getting sued right now, because you can't sell something that's patented commercially once it's been patented by another person.
Okay, so that seems very foretelling as to what he could potentially be trying to project amongst certain platforms. But well, let's say he owned, right? There are official sources that we can go to understand that. Is my assumption that is the case, right?
Yeah, like you can actually go and you can do like a patent search, like on the U.S. Government website for patent public searches, and just like look it up. I think it's the USPTO website.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
but I've actually just like out of curiosity, just like did like a basic search and then just looked up like his name for patents, like as far as this goes for like virtual reality, and I didn't see anything. So either he's lying straight up, or maybe like he, maybe like his partner or something like that, they could have patented it in their name or something like that, and maybe like they sold the patent later. I have no idea. Or maybe they just patented in their name. There's no telling like how all that went down, but it's definitely not in his name.
There was some speculation that Terence Howard had. People actually looked into this, right? And from what I saw, there are people that looked into the applications. Because when you submit for a patent, there are applications available, and apparently those patents were rejected.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense, because I didn't.
And so basically he applied for 3 patents in the US, right? Each application had failed to result in a patent. So now I'm very confused. Now, my intention isn't to throw the guy under the bus. At the very least, I applaud him at being a critical thinker, right? If his approach is specifically to think critically about things like this, But aside from the narrative, aside from that, the narrative really presents here that he is a narcissistic person that is trying to come off as edgy or appealing to a base that doesn't think critically about that in terms of understanding the true mechanics of it based on the math and the logic presented within things like physics, astrophysics, VR, virtual reality, computer technology within VR requirements. So, none of this rings true. He has said that he has tried to basically rework things like the periodic table, which if you understand the periodic table, how it goes from positive to negative, different formulated layers. He's trying to he's essentially trying to he's essentially tried to say that it doesn't make sense. Same guy that said 1 times 1 is 2, right? Which also does not make sense. Because one times is 1, right? So I don't know. I guess take it how you will. For you guys out there that think that he may be onto something, I just hope that you guys do a little bit more research. I am now curious to see if he's even got a degree in whatever he's suggesting in, and what type of degree. Because if it's just a bachelor's, that could also be something that could be challenged in terms of knowledge skill base, right? Because if you go up a level higher to a bachelor's or a PhD, right, then you tend to start questioning a lot of the aspects that you learned from bachelor's degree. So, it's really, he's trying to, I think, present more of an image that his actor, his acting career has allowed him to present, and he's sort of kind of spinning a narrative for marketing purposes. But again, I'm just one man. I don't know. I couldn't say that for certain without a sufficient amount of data, although there is, or information, rather, that is also out there for the public to see. Fortunately for us, if just gotta look and research what his developments are, and
Yeah, like I
other.
for sure didn't find anything patented in his name, like as far as like relating to VR. But I could see it be like one of those situations where like you said, like some people say that he went and he tried to do the patents and they got rejected. So that probably did happen, but it's probably like one of those. Well, I don't know, because it's just speculation, but it could be one of those situations where like something like that happened, and then like he's seen something that was very similar to like whatever he was trying to patent from his understanding, and then he's just like, that's what I patented. You know what I mean? Like they stole my they stole my idea, type of thing. Because I know people that are like that and do that kind of thing like all the time, and I think it may be like that kind of situation is what he's saying with this.
Can you briefly explain what the difference between a patent and a trademark is?
Yeah, so like a trademark is a little bit different from a patent. Like once you get something patented, like the only people that can use whatever you patent is just you, and then like whoever you're working with for that patent. So nobody else can use that commercially. A trademark is a bit different. So like, how do I explain this? So like a trademark is kind of the same as a patent, but you have to continuously use and maintain a trademark or you'll lose it. Whereas like a patent is like a certain grant that you get for a certain amount of time. Like you can have something patented, but let's say like I created, I don't know, what's something random that I could create
A toothbrush.
Yeah, let's say I created like some special kind of toothbrush that instantly makes your teeth like really white or something like that instantly. I patent that. that patent only lasts for like 20 years or so, or something like that. Then after that 20 years, you know, everybody else, they can make a toothbrush that's similar to mine. Whereas like a trademark is pretty much like indefinite, as long as I just continue to you know, make those toothbrushes. That's the difference, essentially.
That that makes so much sense. So you're saying that it could be possible that maybe, I don't know, maybe you had some weak private uh what's it called, proprietary patent that he basically put out there, and it got lost. It didn't get lost, but since it was proprietary or exclusive information, I don't know if it's required to publicize a patent, but that seems like that might be the case based off of what you explained in his temporary use case, that he could have possibly lost the patent, or because it wasn't public, he chose not to maybe publicize it, that he may have lost it. I feel like that's, and I'm playing devil's advocate here, but I truly feel like that's a stretch. There has been no proof to substantiate that, and it's very difficult to even vouch for a word of consistency from this guy. Again, it's, you know, I can't. I feel like at this point, I shouldn't even speak on his acting skills, but I sure as heck don't agree with a lot of the terminology that he's kind of expressing these days. Yeah, I mean, Hustle and Flow, yeah, for sure, that was a good movie. But
I remember that. Yeah, it's getting hard out here for a pimp. Yeah, I don't want me to sing. One more thing though, I want to clear up though about the trademark and the patent thing. I said, like, for a trademark, like, it's something that you can keep, like, as long as you use it continuously. But like, the reason why it's called a trademark is because, like, I gave the toothbrush analogy, and I just noticed that I continue to use that same analogy with the trademark. But you wouldn't trademark a toothbrush. Like, if let's say, like, I did make a toothbrush and it made my teeth, you know, or make people's teeth instantly white. The toothbrush isn't what you would trademark for that. You could patent the toothbrush, you know, and after 20 years, people can make the same kind of toothbrush that make your, you know, your teeth instantly white. But what I would trademark is, like, you only trademark like names and symbols and logos and things like that. Right. So, like, my brand of that toothbrush is what I would trademark. So, like, you know, Breezy's white, whatever, whitening toothbrush, that's what I would trademark. And as long as I keep using my name, that, you know, and maintain that and keep making those toothbrushes, you know, I keep that trademark. But what I would patent is the actual toothbrush, not the name. Trademarks are more like for logos and you know, symbols and things like that. I just want to clear that up real quick.
No, that was a great catch. Yeah, thanks for clearing that up, because yeah, I definitely would have forgotten to clear that up. Yeah, for sure. What is next?
Next up we had oh yeah. Apparently the government is cracking down on monetized social media content and viewership. And it specifically has to do with things that relate to red pill content, from my understanding.
Yeah, so apparently there's, right, I do recall that there's a list. I think Alba and Preach did also make a video attributed to this. So if we don't do justice here and explain it in its full glory, then definitely check them out. But yeah, from my understanding, there's a list that was provided in terms of content creators that are red pill centric, that primarily focus on things that may be endangering to the development of children and their mindset against things of negative nature like rape or sexual misconduct toward women or anything of that nature. So there was a list put out, and essentially how this list works is it works on a scale based on how many the topics that you're discussing throughout your video. So I guess everyone is on that list if you are aware of it or not, but essentially it's a coordinated effort with YouTube and Google so to ensure that the amount of the amount of content that's pushed out is not as monetized or viewed as much. So it's not like an immediate offense. It's more so just kind of pushed to deep YouTube, essentially, right? At least that's how I understand it.
Could you say that last bit one more time?
It seems like this is more so to kind of push it down to like deep YouTube, the content that will never be found by the masses. So even if you are like a huge content creator, it essentially demonetizes that based on the topics discussed. Like let's say you have like, I don't know, there's a max of 20 topics before it's like, oh yeah, maybe 10, you're like in the middle. And then your video is semi saturated. Your viewership is like semi saturated and demonetized, so that is less. You're given less credit for that video and less viewership ratings pushed to that video. And maybe like 20 is like, okay, yeah, no one's going to see this video essentially on that scale. And so content creators content creators such as I'm forgetting what's that content creator called? I know I got some content creators up in here at a red pill. Let me see. Hold on. There's one that I've been talk about all the time. It's like forgetting what they're called. Let me see. Red pill YouTubers. And I don't watch Alvin Preach all the time, but I do chime in time to time. But they do typically lean toward the more progressive side. And so yeah, it's red pill YouTubers. So it's best to not OD on anything, really, essentially. But in terms of red pill content creators, let me see. It's like fit and fresh and fit. I think that's one. That's one that's on the list for sure. Fresh and fit. But there's so many more red pill communities out there. YouTubers that are all on that list. There's like a top 10. And they're all on that list. But yeah, that was interesting. Any thoughts?
Well, it just seems like to me that they're bringing down the hammer, pretty much. You said that it because I'm not too informed on the on like the whole topic. You said basically they have to meet a certain threshold, and if they don't meet that threshold, then YouTube basically demonetizes them.
Quite the opposite, right? So if they meet that threshold, then they will be demonetized, right? So
dang, that's even worse.
Yes, they want to do we're only speaking red pill topics in this video. Is going to go up on that list, and then you'll be put in that. I don't know if it's going to just pertain primarily to that video, if it's going to pertain to your entire channel. I don't know the specifics of those mechanics, but I do know that it'll at least be that video that will be demonetized, and of course, it'll affect viewership and stuff too.
I have mixed feelings about it. because my gut feeling makes me feel like in a way it's a hamper on like free speech. But then like the other part of me is like, you know, I don't know like exactly what they're saying like in the content. So I don't know like what negative effect like it could possibly have on you know, like younger people to make them want to demonetize the content to begin with. So like for me, like those two kind of collide because my gut immediately is like, you know, it's a hamper on free speech. But then like the other part of me is like, okay, there must be some kind of reason behind it if they're willing to go that route. It's kind of like it makes me think of like it might be a bad analogy, but like, you know, extra taxes or something like that on like smoking cigarettes or something like that. Like cigarettes are pretty much extra tariff taxed up because, you know, they want to discourage people from doing something that's potentially bad for you health wise.
I understand.
So I see the same kind of logic applied to this, just more so like from a mental standpoint. But then at the same time, I feel like it hampers free speech. So it's just like, you know, I'm divided on it.
I understand what you're saying completely, and I'm gonna share briefly this loophole, this legal loophole, right? That there is that we know to be YouTube, and it's the way that it defines its algorithms, right? So we know that when you create a video, you have the choice to title it as entertainment or educational or comedy or whatever, right? And so it is my assumption that under the under entertainment category, that is the majority of what a lot of these content creators are pushing out. An assumption, of course, they're pushing it out as pure entertainment, you know, for their podcast to gravitate a larger audience, and they're also speaking on topics in a negative connotation when it pertains to or negative manner toward when it pertains to things like grape or sexual violence toward minorities and women, right? So in that case, I think the argument is it could be destructive and impede developmental processes within children. And that was, I guess, the argument I'll take, that they are trying, the direction they're trying to go down in terms of trying to restrict this type of content. And so in that aspect, I think I do understand. Because if you're saying, you know, grape is okay and yada yada yada, and you're trying to normalize things like that, I could see how it might be, or violence against toward, you know, in a negative way. I could see how, yeah, a lot of those things could be you know, not the best educational resources for children that are, you know, going through grade school. And their brains are still developing, and they haven't really developed these you know, their frontal lobes and other necessities, these to really kind of combat some of those bias and projected facts, right, from those content creators. So I understand in that aspect. I don't think that necessarily will pertain to our channel, because we typically speak speak openly about things like that, but we also don't speak about it in a positive way, right? Or as a way to kind of argue that it is okay, right? That is not the type of content that we're going to probably be pushing out in terms of, you know, okaying that those topics are okay. I don't think we have anything to worry about necessarily, because we typically don't go down that route.
Thankfully.
Thankfully, yeah. I mean, you won't find us on that list, but I think it's even public too, if I'm not mistaken. I know that you could go out there, and the top 10 is crazy. It's diabolical. You know, but yeah, next up, so we're gonna finish up with our gaming section, and I think we just got essentially smart NPC games, right? A world of smart NPCs with replica studios and Unreal Engine 5. Right. So this particular game that I'm going to show you guys essentially is has incorporated smart NPCs, right? NPCs that adapt to conversation in real time, and essentially they work on somewhat of a natural language processing framework. So I want to kind of provide you guys some insight on the future of gaming, and also what even virtual gaming would look like in the future. If you could project yourself in that, maybe we could even sort it online inside, or Matrix inside. I don't know, but let's check it out. I don't know the exact title of the game, but here we go.
My name is Karen, but I'm sure you'll forget it as soon as you turn off this game and go back to your mundane life.
Oh God, she is like burning me. Wow. Hello. Gaming. Truly immersive. I'm sorry, I'm dying laughing here.
Please don't laugh at me. I just want people to appreciate my package. It's really important to me.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how big is it?
I would rate my package at a solid 10. It's quite impressive, if I do say so myself.
What type of work are you looking for?
I'm not really looking for work right now. I just want people to appreciate my impressive package. Can I show it to you?
No, that would not be necessary. I'd probably get demonetized.
I understand. It's important to be mindful of content restrictions in today's world. But just know that my impressive package is always available for those who appreciate it.
Well, I will tell everybody to appreciate your impressive package.
You better not be spreading lies about my package. If you do, you'll regret it. My package is not to be trifled with.
Oh, I'm sure, sir. Does it deserve its own zip code, too?
I'm not sure what you mean by that, but please just appreciate my impressive package. It's all I ask for.
Okay, I'm sorry. I appreciate it.
Thank you for your appreciation. My package is truly impressive and deserves recognition.
All right, sir. I'll let you be on your way.
You better not forget about my impressive package. It demands respect and recognition wherever I go.
Okay, I'll remember that. Have a good day.
Thank you. And please don't forget to spread the word about my impressive package. It means a lot to me.
Jeez. Michael Hawk has got an impressive package. Here's my mic. Oh my gosh. When you can modify the game just a little bit more. Hello.
Who are you and why are you talking to me? I demand to speak with my cunt immediately.
Just look downstairs. You'll find him.
I can't believe I have to deal with this. I'll go check downstairs and see if my cunt is there.
I'm sure you'll find it.
You know what he's talking about, right? Mike Hunt.
Mike Hunt?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay. If you don't get it now, you'll get it later.
Huh?
Oh,
I said if you don't get it now, you'll get it later.
Oh boy. Okay.
thank you for your confidence in my abilities. It's not like I deal with incompetent people like you every day.
Hey, I'm not the one trying to find Mike Hunt.
That kind of language is
I did not say that.
You better watch your mouth before I report you to the authority.
Hey, you just said that. I didn't say that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I must have mistaken you for someone who had some manners and self-control.
Sure, I'll slow down. What can I help you with?
Oh, nothing. I just thought I'd come over and have a lovely chat with someone who has the personality of a wet blanket.
Wow, you're full of jokes, huh?
I try to keep things interesting around here. Otherwise, dealing with people like you would be unbearable.
Wow, you're such a peach.
I'm sorry. I don't understand what you mean by that. Can you please clarify?
Sure. It means ray of sunshine.
Oh, I know what it means. I was just hoping you could come up with something a little more original than a tired old cliche.
This lady's burning me. Well, you're just an NPC in a video game, lady.
Just because I'm a Nick doesn't mean you have the right to disrespect me. What's your tone or face the consequence?
Consequences of what?
The consequences of your actions and words. I don't appreciate being treated poorly, and I won't hesitate to take action if necessary.
Okay, what is your name?
My name is Karen, but I'm sure you'll forget it as soon as you turn off this game and go back to your mundane life.
Oh my God, she is like burning me. Wow. Well, see, I could always turn off this game and you'll be gone, right?
Just because I'm a Nick doesn't mean I don't have feelings or that my existence doesn't matter. Don't talk to me like that again or you'll regret it.
Okay, anybody else you want to talk to?
No, I just need to find my cunt and get out of here. Dealing with people like you is exhausting.
Okay, I'm sorry. Have a good day.
Save your apologies for someone who cares.
Wow.
I'll be glad to see the back of you.
Okay, guys, time for a little bit of fun. We need to find our world's first NPC Karen. And
so that's the NPC smart NPC game. And that, I think that's a good direction to take. There's a lot of meta worlds, virtual AR being incorporated within those meta worlds, and AR and extended reality, augmented reality being incorporated within those meta worlds, defined within the crypto genre. And so, yeah, I feel like that's a very interesting direction to take the gaming stage. And Unreal Engine 5 has, as you can see, those are the early stages of Unreal Engine 5, but there are other games, newer games that are coming into development that are far more graphically pleasing than just that. But I found it extremely interesting, so I felt like we should include that one. And I know Brizzy agreed. That would be a good way to add and end off the stream.
For sure, yeah. And just one more tidbit to close. It immediately reminded me of like Grand Theft Auto, just with more back and forth between the NPCs.
Yeah, his natural language was being like basically converted into text within end game, I guess, converted and through like a ChatGPT algorithm, through its natural language processing and I find that to be extremely pleasing. It felt connecting in a sense to where you can have legitimate conversations with data that's being strung in real time. So something that maybe comes on the news right now, it's like, hey, NPC, did you there's a car crash down the street, how'd you in this area, how'd you feel about that? Well, that's way over in I don't know, way over in the UK. I'm not worried about that, or something to that effect. I could feel that being like a very good direction, and a most accurate direction in terms of bringing gaming to, its peak potential. So yeah, for sure. I'm excited. I for one have been one to advocate for gaming such as this, but it's exciting stuff.
For sure.
But yeah, I want to kind of wrap this up. It's a little late for us. I want to appreciate all of you guys that have stopped by. This video may or may not be re-uploaded tomorrow because I'm pretty sure we copyrighted in the beginning, but I'll leave this video up for a few more minutes. Make sure to check out, subscribe if you haven't, comment, like, subscribe, join the Discord, and then yeah, we'll probably be re-uploading this video come tomorrow or later tonight. So keep an eye out, and yeah, we'll see you next time, travelers.
Peace.